Hope everyone's well. Once again, want to remind you that Wednesday we have our Zoom meeting. That's the day before your test will be given out. So that'll be an opportunity for you to come get on. It's at 1 o'clock. I will send out the Zoom code in Gradebook Wizard hopefully by Tuesday morning. So you'll just have it. You'll know what the code is to get into the meeting. If you want to come in and ask questions, just anything you're not sure of, or just come in and say hello. So that is at 1 o'clock on Wednesday. Yesterday, we went over in the chapter three large Muslim empires, the Ottoman, the Mughal, and the Persian empires. And we got through those, and we're going to talk about briefly about three of the Chinese empires today. And we should be able to get through those today, and then once again review tomorrow. All right, Chinese dynasties. A man named Zhu Huangzhong, I hope I say that correctly, led a rebellion that overthrew the Yuan dynasty. 1368, Zhu becomes the emperor, and he takes the name of Hong Wu and establishes his capital at the time at Nanjing. And he gave the name to his dynasty the Ming, which would rule for about 300 years, and Ming means brilliant. So Ming Dynasty, you have probably heard of that before, but the Ming Dynasty during its time brought peace and stability into China. During the time, leaders imposed new law codes, reorganized the tax system, and reformed local governments. And Chinese persons replaced Mongols in all civil service posts that had previously served there. During this time, there was Chinese exploration. The early Ming emperors spent government money on a navy that could sail to foreign ports and collect tribute for the emperor. A lot of times they use ships called junks. It's a term there in your notes. Those are ships that travel the coastline. They can travel the coastline and into open waters as well. So that's a term you'll probably see on your notes, and I believe saw it the work stuff that you did at the end of the chapter as well. Later Ming emperors did not continue these voyages. They were costly, for one thing, and by the 1400s, China worried about using their funds for the military to combat threats from nomadic tribes. So they felt like that was more of a priority to keeping security at home than sending out an exploration or whatever the reason may have been. Of course, the 1400s, 1492, when Columbus had his famous exploration or sailed to America, and a lot of exploration going on during the 1500s, discovery of the New World. They kind of went the different route with that. But you'll need to know that, and you'll need to know why. All right, they wound up moving the capital of the Ming Dynasty ultimately to Beijing, northern capital. It was moved to help defend the northern border, and the Forbidden City's in there. The Forbidden City is the Emperor's Palace complex in central Beijing, but you will need to know that for the test. Another dynasty we're going to talk briefly about, the Qing Dynasty. It's spelled with a Q, Q-I-N-G. Was founded by a clan from Manchuria. And they were referred to, you'll see in your notes, the book is the Manchus. And that's why. The Qing Dynasty, Qing means pure. But the Manchus expanded their empire to the north and the west. And for over 300 years, the Qing Dynasty ruled over the largest Chinese empire that ever existed. So you're going to need to know that. Which one was ruled over the largest Chinese empire. All right. Manchus also adopted many Chinese customs and kept control by naming Manchus to officer corps of the army, ensuring most soldiers were Manchus and appointing Manchus to all top government jobs. This is basically done. They feel like these are the people they can trust, to keep an eye on some, the others basically. So they were going to appoint their people to the positions of power, positions of information. In 1645, the emperor ordered all men to shave their heads, leaving only a queue or a braid on the head. Some of these movies you see that depicts that time, you may see movies where you wonder what that's for, why there's that one strand of hair like that, or that one braid, and everything else is shaved, but that's why. Another term we talked about, or you would have seen it, the activity at the end of your book, is labor-intensive farming. This is work that was performed by human effort as opposed to work done by animals and machinery. And this really at the time was a way of life for many Chinese. Labor-intensive farming doesn't exactly sound like it would be the most fun work to do. But that was certainly a way of life for many Chinese. And the European demand for Chinese goods such as silk and porcelain was high. We've talked about that before, the demand of silk from the East, the Silk Road. We discussed these things in class prior. And this attracted European ships to China's coast during the Ming Dynasty. So you'll need to know that. But yeah, these demands from the East were, there was a high demand for these things. Jesuit missionaries also came to China to spread Christianity, and although they converted most Chinese officials were only interested in their scientific knowledge as opposed to necessarily their religious beliefs. They did have some success there, but not, it wasn't permanent, and ultimately a lot of the Christians were removed or they were kicked out. They basically kicked out of the country at the time. So that wasn't unusual in a lot of the places. 7th grade, we're talking about the Age of Empire in 7th grade class, and mentioning some of the new territories or the new empires they took, meeting people that, they were missionaries, went out feeling that they needed to spread the word of God to them. But that's what these missionaries, they were sitting there thinking the same thing. But you'll need to know that, for the test as well. So that right there is the end of the section that we're going to be looking at for the test on Thursday. So what you want to do is just go back through this, what we've talked about. And once again, anything you don't understand, a term or anything of that nature, just write it down. Have a question or two you may want to ask when we have our Zoom meeting on Wednesday. Once again, that's 1 o'clock. Try to make that. I will take questions. I'll probably give y'all some questions in terms of review. I mean, we may not do it exactly like we do the review game. We're not going to be able to in this format, but I do want to give y'all an opportunity so you kind of have a pretty good idea of what's going on, what you need to know for the test on Thursday. So I'm going to stop there, and then we'll hope to see all of you at 1 o'clock on Wednesday. Thanks.